Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums, 'tis I, Captain of the Steves. And today, chums, for you guys, in the viewerverse, I'll be hitting up some No Man's Sky news. Heck yes I am, people. Heck yeah! So what have I got for you today? Let's jump on over to the old Tinterweb show and let me show you. So a lot of people are probably wondering when the new expedition is going to start. The Corvette expedition. Well, over on the actual Tinterwebs, good old Cyberpunk 2050 has actually put out this from the background sort of hack. Basically, they can see the server-side dates of when things are supposedly going to start. Now, Hello Games can change this date on the fly, and he's made that quite apparent and quite clear from his post on Twitter. But currently, it's set at September the 3rd at 10 AM US Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so there we go. That gives you a sort of like little idea of when it's all going to kick off. I mean, you're going to have to do the time conversions between different sorts of regions. But yeah, here we go. Let me have a look at what 10 AM East Coast to UK is, just as an example. Captain Steve, oh Captain Steve, oh Captain. Heck yeah, why not hit that like and subscribe? Thank you very much. So from what I'm seeing here, that's going to kick off at around 3 PM for us on the 3rd of September over here in the UK. Okay, coolio. That's not the only thing that I want to go over when it comes to the expedition, because there's a couple of things found inside the game files that Dragonsire has been kind enough to send over to me, people. So these are all the sorts of icons, decals, patches, everything inside the game files that's been updated and changed. And there's a few things in here that I don't recall seeing inside of the Quicksilver Agent store, like these gnarly banners. I mean, that's actually really quite cool, isn't it, that one? That's quite nice. Okay. I was hoping it would go on to the next one in the actual menu, but it didn't, because there's another one there, as you can see. But yeah, some pretty nice banners anyway. I mean, I may have glossed over them, because I was too excited to see this little guy. I'm thinking of calling mine Vosco. You know, after the robot in Starfield. Since we've got so much that's in Starfield now in No Man's Sky, I might just name this little chap Vosco. I mean, he's got one eye like Vosco. Similar sort of coloration and patination. Might as well. We're going to get a lovely new banner as well. And we're going to get this hero, a big gun turret for our ships that I'm currently sitting over the top of. So if I can scroll down a little, it's above my head. There you go. A new cannon for our ships, people. Now, I think a lot of this other stuff, these purple things below me right here, I think that's for Twitch drops. There's a whole load of new icons, but we've seen those off of our quick menu. I don't think there's much else there to sort of say, okay, well, what else is going on there? Corvette hold. Okay, interesting. That's an interesting sort of icon. I don't remember seeing that. Maybe that's part of the expedition then. But yeah, all the colours that we currently have, no new shaders. Okay, coolio. We have got this part here, and Dragonsire has let me know exactly what this part does in his email to me. So I'll bring up his email and show you what it says, shall I? So he goes on to say some of these images are still placeholders, unsure what's going on, but he also mentioned that the expedition will probably start around the 3rd, so they're all sort of in unison with this one. But that device there, apparently, when you fire it up, it may automatically teleport you and your ship directly to the nearest space station. Well, that's quite handy if you want to be building yourself your ship. Inside of update 6.2, they have allowed you now to land inside pirate stations and inside of abandoned stations that I have yet to have tried, but I will be trying that very soon and reporting back to you how well it works. Like yes. But anyway, back to those images that they sent over to me, because, like he said, there's a couple in here that could just be placeholders. Now, a lot of these are for the expedition. Now, you could probably pause the screen here and get a good idea of what we might be needing to do. There is one there for jumping through a black hole. Well, Sir Ominous Gaunt told me something quite ominous. Who would have thought it, eh? But you can actually jump out the back of your ship and jetpack yourself through a black hole as an individual just on your jetpack. Very strange. I'll have to give that a try as well at some point. But there's all these parts, and some of these parts, they haven't got a whited out background. They've got these sort of dark grey or purple or green backgrounds, and these are all parts that I don't have. However, I was watching Beeblebum playing with Action Pants Gaming earlier today, and Action Pants Gaming, using a save editor, has brought these items into the game and managed to apply them onto a ship. Some of them look fairly finished or close to being finished. So it does look like there might be more ship parts on the way. One of the parts that I saw him actually use was this one that's above my head, this big wing. And underneath it, you can't see it here, but there's all piping and duct work. It's actually a real beautiful piece. The actual engines at the back aren't quite finished, but that looks very finished on his actual ship. It looked freaking splendiferous. I guess it did. There's quite a lot of other parts here, like people were saying that they'd like to have a curved cockpit. Well, that looks to be exactly that, a curved cockpit, people. I don't know whether these engines are supposed to be in this little cage, and there's like a twin engine, single engine, another engine. So maybe we might be able to put out engines that are in scaffolds for whatever reason. There's also another big cockpit right here. I mean, I don't know if I can make that much bigger on the screen, but look, I think it's got 3 chairs in a row, which is pretty darn freaking sweet, isn't it? It's more reminiscent of some of the cockpits that we see inside the Starfield. And then there's this one here as well, which looks very rounded, almost like, you know, the Enterprise or something. It's got like these giant benches there. It's got 3 desks. It looks very much like they're trying to replicate a Star Trek Enterprise type hub. And that would be freaking awesome if that comes into game and comes into fruition, people inside the verse. Now, these are all things that Hello Games might be tinkering with. They might not ever come to fruition, so don't get your hopes up. Don't get too excited. But it's interesting to see that there's other parts already appearing inside of the game files that we don't quite have yet. Like they've got these big cons. I don't know what they're supposed to do, but they look pretty cool. And it looks like a giant freaking exhaust pipe over here. No idea. Interesting stuff, Arch. And there's a lot of placeholder images like big door. There's got a lot of things that are making me raise my eyebrows. Now, in the game files in the past, we've had all sorts in the game files, and they don't come to fruition. We had a little guy on a freaking unicycle-y type thing at one stage. You know, sometimes they're just placeholders, I think, for size and comparison. So take all that with a bit of a pinch of salt, but I think it's safe to discern that there might be new ship parts on the way, and I really do hope we do get that round Star Trek-y type room, because that could be quite cool. Okay, now somebody else that does like to deep dive into the old game files is that Bomber Boy, and I've retweeted a couple of that Bomber Boy's tweets as of late. It's not going to take me long to find them just by scrolling up, but he's got some right snippets. So this is one of the first here. Now, he has put this as spoilers, so if you don't like spoilers, if you don't want spoilers, you might want to look away, because I'm going to be clicking it. You've been warned. I'm going to click it. I've clicked it. I've freaking clicked it, people. So there's a load of text here, this debug text, and then I think they've taken the debug text and put it over here to sort of make some kind of idea of what's going on. Or maybe that's previous. I can't really tell which is which, but if I go inside of here, it does look like that we're going to be sent on some sort of like mini journey across purple systems. So if you haven't already got the purple drive, you might want to get the purple drive. This does look like it might be some kind of new story coming into the game. You've got to complete those who returned and encounter the first lifeboat for this to trigger. At least that's what I'm discerning from this. You know, I'm not a massive code guy, but it looks like they're going to be introducing something happening with Man Spider. Yes, the autophage thing that we built up inside the spatial anomaly up by Tepus. Looks like we're going to be interacting with that chap, and it's going to spin up some kind of little mini story. They're pushing us over to tech boxes and weapons at camps and terminals and all sorts of other stuff. Robot interactions. It could have something to do with, you know, the whole autophage, but we're going to be heading out to collect hex cores as well. It could be a little bit of an interesting story. It doesn't look like it's a massive story at that. I mean, it's got a fair few steps, but I wouldn't say this almost feels like almost like a weekend mission of how weekend missions used to be, to a roundabout way. I can't see this being a huge full-on story, but at the same time, Maybe it's even part of the expedition. Really don't know. I was kind of hoping to see the Ariadne story come into fruition at some stage. Any lore is good lore. I love the lore of No Man's Sky. That guess I do. So that's another nice little hint from that bomber boy. There was one other thing that he tweeted out that got me going, really? Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Steam numbers at the highest that they've ever been, people. Freaking well, hello games. This was actually a really good update, and it seems to be retaining player numbers. Usually on an update you see it spike, and it holds it for about a week, and then it starts to dip back down again relatively quickly. But player numbers, I think, for this one are probably going to stay fairly high, because it's such a cool update. I'm proper addicted to building ships. And then you go onto Twitter or any sort of social media and start seeing pictures of what other people have done. You think, oh, maybe I can make mine a little bit better. Maybe I could nick that as an idea. So much inspiration. And I feel that it's going to add another pillar to the game. Almost just like what base building did to the game. Okay, so here we go. Preliminary unused logic that allows for ownership of up to 8 concurrent freighters. It's not only one freighter. It looks like they're going to give us the ability to own up to 8 freighters. What? Why? Now we've got these lovely little Corvettes. I don't know whether I'm going to be doing too much with my freighter. Unless, what if they let us build our own freighters next? What if, well, we can make a giant freighter that's got landing bays or a docking area to dock our new Corvettes next to? What if they're going to slowly rework things? Maybe that's why they haven't given us a station override for so long, people inside the viewerverse. I mean, we're moving into the realms of speculation now, so hold on to your freaking tinfoil hats, people. Speculation time! And a lot of people do like my speculation. So what if they haven't given us a station overrides? Because when they do give us station ownership, okay, what if we can build our own stations as well? Just saying, in a similar sort of way that we can build all this lovely stuff that's going on now. Does make you wonder. Well, it makes me wonder anyway. Chinny chin chin. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of speculation. What if we get to build our own freighters from scratch? I mean, it'd be really cool to put on different sort of elements to the actual freighter, just like we do with these Corvette, you know, the ships that we've got now. Corvette ships. Yes, I have to keep thinking of the car. And for some reason I keep getting Pontiac in my head. And I'm like, it's not a Pontiac. It's not a Pontiac. It's not a Trans Am. All the American cars are going from my head. And then I get to Corvette and I'm like, that's the one. That's the one. Oh, dear. Yeah. What if we get to build our own freighters like we can build the Corvettes? Yes, me. Or even our own stations and get to build them out and add in little docking bays for different sorts of Corvettes. That would be truly epic. I am wondering whether Hello Games might give the spatial anomaly another revamp and another rethink. Considering now, you know, if you have got lobbies of players, you're going to need landing pads, obviously for the smaller ships, but you're also going to need bigger landing pads for these new Corvette ships. I kind of feel what they could do is kind of make the spatial anomaly have 2 entrances, one at the back, one at the front, one that you can fly your Corvette in and another one for your normal ships, and sort of separate them out. Because hopefully if they can separate them between some sort of wall and maybe have some sort of automatic door that you go through, maybe have, you know, Artemis dead center, and then you go through and you're into the opposite side. If there's an invisible blocking volume there, it might help with the lag of all the normal ships with all the Corvette ships, you know. I don't know. I just feel there needs to be a bit of rework, mainly because of just how sort of laggy it is inside the spatial anomaly once people start bringing in their giant Corvettes. And some of these Corvettes are freaking phenomenally, crazily good. They really are. Insane stuff. Anyway, people, I'm going to be slutering and saying goodbye to you. So goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye again. I'm looking forward to the 3rd of September. I hope it stays locked in. And, yeah, another expedition. Ha ha! Cheery bye.